tell me a little bit about yourself and your brand.
My name is Susan and my brand is Cooper & Co Pets.
And what kind of product do you guys sell?
We specialize in dog mobility aids, so specifically working or helping dogs who are elderly, injured, recovering from surgery, or those beautiful long-bodied, short-legged breeds specifically.
So tell me a little bit about what you do for work and why you decided to go ahead with starting your own e-commerce brand.
The biggest trigger was probably a restructure at my work. I work for a big global corporate company. We had massive round of layoffs and changes, and the landscape just didn't seem as safe anymore. And I think we've all been kind of brought up in this work Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, have a stable job, pay your mortgage, put money aside. And it just didn't feel like it was getting me ahead. I was looking at numbers. I'm going to be working till I'm 65 and I didn't want that. So there's a secure job there, absolutely. But yeah, just didn't feel as stable anymore. I've stopped kind of learning, I guess, and feeling fulfilled in that job was a big part of it as well. Just looking for something new.
Before you started your own e-commerce brand, did you have e-commerce experience?
No, none whatsoever. If you asked me a year ago that I'd be selling a physical product online, I literally would have laughed in your face. Like, furthest thing from my mind, I've always been in corporates and service industry where, I'm hired by someone to, provide a service or something for them, whether it's consulting or whatever. Yeah, physical product, absolutely not.
It's like a different language when you start, and then you're just like, it's actually not as hard as I expected it to be.
Yeah, look, it doesn't downplay the amount of work, but it's not as hard as you think. That entry point to getting an idea and then actually making it happen, it's a really cool process.
And before you started with Ecom Capital, was there any hesitations?
Oh, absolutely. You see these things pop up online all the time, I have to say. And no offense, but I did think this was a scam.
No offense. No offense whatsoever.
But you see so many, and it's just, at first, I didn't know the difference between drop shipping and actually building your own brand. So that I actually was writing down what is drop shipping and what is building. So, and then ecom came up and there were lots of other things that came up. And so I remember clicking on the thing after I'd seen it half a dozen times and it started to annoy me. I was like, do you know what? What is this thing? I'm going to move it to an external browser out of Instagram. I'm going to actually read. And then I think I've just booked the call and I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty switched on. I'm going to book a call with this scammy company and I'm going to be able to tell really quickly if they're for real or not. Obviously, before I booked that in, I looked at the reviews. I wanted to see what people were saying, but that can be produced by AI nowadays. Again, no offense, but there's lots of stuff that can just be out there. So I booked an intro call and talked to the person and they seemed real. And then that just led to another conversation and they seemed real. And I'm like, okay, well, let's just, let's have a think about this. And they're not AI, they're not bots, and they're not a scam. So tick, I can move forward now.
When people do say that, I completely understand, because before I even started my own e-commerce brand, I was like, I don't know what e-commerce means. And then whenever I saw people talking about make money online, I'm like, yeah, right. Or it's easy for you, or just a million different things. So I completely understand. I mean, you kind of said it. You were like, oh, hey, they seem very legit. But what made you take that final leap to go ahead with Ecom Capital?
I'm not sure what tipped me over the edge, but probably that conversation with the person who I did the intro call with, and them just asking about, why are you doing this and what are you thinking? And it just brought to life. Over the previous few years, I'd already had this experience with my dog. I had unknowingly been experiencing frustration and seeing a gap in the market without actually identifying it, because physical products were the first thing from my mind. So it was not a gradual thing for me. But then once I made the decision to start with ecom, not knowing a product, I had no idea. I had no product in mind. I had never heard of e-commerce before. I just thought, I'm not someone who would do drop shipping. I don't want to sell someone else's product. I guess for me, the difference between you guys and all the other companies out there that I saw was you actually were like, no drop shipping. We're here to help you build a business, like a legitimate business and company and brand. And that's what I wanted. So that's what resonated. And that's probably what tipped me over the edge to go with you guys rather than someone else. Because you see those $20, we'll build you a web page, we'll load it with 10 products and you'll be, whatever, in no time, we'll give you your money back. I'm like, $20? That's 2 coffees. That's not really a big promise. So I really wanted something genuine, not drop shipping. I wanted to build a brand. And that's what probably the big difference and tipped me over the edge was like, yeah, let's do it.
On that point, what kind of revenue numbers or milestones have you hit with your brand?
I was a little bit nervous about the 10K 90 days to start with, but I've actually been able to achieve 10K in 20 days since launch. I had the first conversation with Ecom Capital in July last year to be where I am in March now. I launched, 3 weeks ago. So 22 days ago, I launched and I hit my 10K earlier this week.
Those numbers are too low for you. I think I'm just like, okay, 100K months, please.
We've mapped it all out with AI. So $1 million by the end of the year is the goal.
Love it. And what would you kind of say to someone that's really hesitant on starting with ecom capital and also just starting their own e-commerce brand?
You have to want it, and you have to want to build something real. If you want to do dropshipping, this is not for you. I would say you have to be invested. Personally, there is no plan B for me. I was just, I want to do this and I'm going to make it work. Ecom gives you all of the tools, but it's very much an adult working and learning environment where you have to do something with those tools. There's coaching calls, but you have to join them. There are workbooks, but you have to log in and do them. There are all of these things available to you. And I guess you get out what you put in. And I've heard a lot of people like, oh, you don't handhold, you don't baby. You do have to be serious about this. You do have to be motivated. You do have to want it. But at the end of the day, everything's there for you. Everything you could possibly want. And my brain, being a project manager, I want structure. I want to know exactly what to follow, and I want a blueprint and a plan. And that's all I did. I just followed the modules. I just worked my way through. There was nothing incredible there other than hard work. I just followed what was laid out under my nose in school.
That's what we try to do. It's like it's done with you, but you need to want this because you are building a real business.
And that was what I wanted. And that's why I did the mastermind level as well, because I wanted that one-on-one coaching, having no experience with ecom and having never done this before. I'm like, help me, what am I doing? I love the fact, so yeah, that you have the Slack channel direct with the devs, you have the one-on-one coaching, as well as all the learning under your nose and all of the coaching calls. That was the big plus.